So now, we will kick off our first speaker, Gopi Kallayil. Gopi is the Chief Business Strategist, AI, at Google. He works with Google's largest customers in the sales team to help transform the customer's business through AI-powered marketing and the consumer experience. In his prior role as Chief Evangelist Brand Marketing, he helped grow consumer brands through digital marketing. And then earlier, he led the marketing team for the company's flagship advertising products, AdWords, both in the Americas and Asia Pacific. And he headed the marketing team for AdSense, Google's publisher-facing product. Now, before joining Google, Gopi was on the management team of 2 Silicon Valley venture startup funds. While a consultant with McKinsey & Company, he worked on engagements helping the management teams of large corporations improve the business performance and maximize revenues. He also led large information technology projects for global corporations in India, China, and the United States. Gopi earned his bachelor's degree in electronics engineering from the National Institute of Technology in India. He received 2 master's degrees in business administration, one from the Indian Institute of Management and another from the Wharton School of Business and the University of Pennsylvania. Now, in addition to being an avid yoga practitioner and teacher, Gopi is a triathlete, a public speaker, global traveler, and Burning Man devotee. He's spoken at TEDx, the World Happiness Summit, and Wisdom 2.0. He's the author of 2 books, The Happy Human and the Internet to the Inner Net, published by Hay House. He has released 3 music albums titled Kirtan Lounge. Gopi holds a guest faculty position at the Stanford University Graduate School of Business. He serves on the board of directors of the Garmin Foundation USA, and he is a board advisor to venture-funded early-stage companies, Jiffy.ai, TaskHuman, Plato, and Good Trust. And now for Gopi. Give him a big hand. Here he is.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. 3 weeks ago, something interesting happened at work. It was just a normal day, and suddenly I found out that 3 of my coworkers had won the Nobel Prize. Thank you. Or the applause hopefully is for them because they're the ones who did something tremendous. But 2 things struck in my mind when I heard about this news. The first was, it's not normal for corporate execs to win Nobel Prizes. You would expect academic researchers, college professors, university professors to be winning Nobel Prizes for doing some primary fundamental research over their lifetime. And the second, all of these 3 people are artificial intelligence researchers. So what is going on here? These prizes were for chemistry and physics, and they were awarded to people who are doing artificial intelligence research. So let me explain what's going on here. Sir Demis Hassabis, who is the CEO of Google DeepMind AI, along with Dr. John Jumper, won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for working on a problem that was considered almost unsolvable by traditional biology, which is predicting the structure of proteins that are in our body, in plants and animals, by knowing which we can solve for many problems in plant, animal, and human health. So it is like a fundamental breakthrough that will change the arc of health and drug development over the next decades. And Dr. Jeff Hinton, who was at Google till recently, had won the Nobel Prize in Physics for his work with neural networks. What this shows is the outsized impact AI is having on the sciences, but it's also having an outsized impact on art and culture, on our personal lives, and in the field of business, which is what I'm going to focus on for the rest of this presentation. But before I go there, the first question is, are consumers adopting AI? And you all have experiences of using AI for different aspects of your life, and everybody has got a story saying, I took all the items in my refrigerator, gave it to an AI tool, it told me the recipe. Or I was planning a vacation with my family and it told me gave me a good itinerary. But for me, the acid test of consumer adoption is, will you trust your life with AI? Will you trust your children's life with AI? That is pushing the boundary. So I run a small psychology experiment around this. Every time I have visitors in San Francisco, I'll tell them, I want to take you to see the Golden Gate Bridge. Iconic thing to do in San Francisco. But I want you to drive with me, ride with me, in a self-driving car and see how they respond to it. So recently, a friend of mine was visiting from Norway, Professor Benja Strickland. She is the founder of She Economy as well as a business school professor. She was here with her girls, and I took them on a ride. So hello, if you're watching this video, this is coming live from San Francisco. You are seeing the Golden Gate Bridge, and I'm in a Waymo self-driving car operated by Waymo, a member company of Google parent Alphabet. And as you can see, there's no driver. We just left the Golden Gate Bridge and we are riding to central San Francisco, experiencing what the future of transportation will be. And I am riding here with my amazing friends visiting from Norway, and there is first Ella, and there is Wilde, and there is Benja, all having an amazing time. Welcome to the future of transportation. No driver required, and one of the safest ways to get around, thanks to the amazing powers of artificial intelligence. So that's a great example that how quickly it is getting normalized. How many of you here have already tried out a self-driving car in the city of San Francisco? About 20–30%. And if you live here, or if you're here today, I would urge all of you to give it a try, if you're comfortable with the whole idea. But every time I've gone on it, I'm surprised at how quickly everyone gets comfortable, and within few minutes it seems so normalized as if people have been doing it. And this has been, and there's something going on here about how quickly humans are embracing a fairly advanced technology where, as I said, you're putting your life in the hands of an AI software that is driving you around the city. What has really surprised me in my career here in Silicon Valley is the pace at which this technology is progressing. Earlier, I would see dramatic developments in one-year cycles, but now it's in like 90-day cycles. So I'll give you a couple examples. It's in March of last year that at Google we announced Bard, which was primarily a consumer-facing conversation chatbot, where you would interact with it in text. And less than a year later, we'd announced Gemini, which went beyond text to be able to respond to you in multimodal ways, which means it could handle text, audio, video, images. And a few months after this was announced, we introduced something called Gemini Live, where now I could speak in natural language to an AI tool with ease from my phone. Let me give you a quick demo. So I pull out my phone, and now I can have a natural language conversation. Let's play around with it. There's nothing like a live demo on stage, right? What can go wrong? I'm at the AI Summit in Mountain View, California. I want to go out for lunch with some of the attendees. What do you recommend we do around here?
Mountain View has a great food scene, so you've got lots of options. Do you want something casual and laid back, or would you prefer a more upscale spot?
Actually, several of the people here are vegetarians, so let's start with the vegetarian options.
Got it. There are a few vegetarian spots in Mountain View that are perfect for a group. One idea is Garden Fresh. They have a whole menu of vegan Chinese food, like Kung Pao chicken.
Okay, hold on one second. आप हिंदी में बात कर सकते हो?
जी, मैं हिंदी में बात कर सकता हूँ. आपसे बात करके खुशी हुई. क्या मैं आपकी मदद कर सकता हूँ?
So you see that like a human being, I can interact, cut it short, I can use my inflections, my questions didn't have to be too structured. And mid-sentence, I switched to Hindi, and it immediately detected and started talking back to me in Hindi. This is the power, the speed at which AI is developing and is being put into our hands on devices like this for free. It is remarkable. I've never seen anything like this. The second aspect of AI that I'm really startled by is the pace of diffusion. Earlier, a piece of technology that you all might have worked on here in Silicon Valley with one of these companies would take a few years before it ripples across the world. It is still talking to me in Hindi. It's like, bas karo. I forgot to turn it off. Okay, he's polite, TK. The pace of diffusion. Now, as soon as a piece of technology is announced by the amazing innovative companies around us, within days, I see organizations or individuals using it in all parts of the world. Could be Indonesia, could be in Sydney, Australia, New Delhi, and commenting about it, engaging with it. The speed of diffusion is the second thing that has changed. So in this demo, I showed you a natural language interaction with an AI tool. But the pace of innovation continues because a few weeks after this, there was a demo of something else that we did, which is AI agents, which is going to be the future of AI. Think of AI agents like the apps on your phone, where a typical app store now has 2+, 3+ million apps. And there's an app for almost everything you can imagine. But in the future, there will be AI agents, which are specialized pieces of AI software that could live on your phone, on your TV, in your car, in your shoes and apparel, and be able to do specialized tasks. Let me give you an example of one of those kind of AI agents. And I'm going to give you a little demo of an AI agent called Project Astra we showed in May. Astra lives on your phone. And it understands the physical world around you. Because we live in a physical world. There are things, there are objects, there are chairs, the bottles of water, there is a refrigerator in the kitchen. So can an AI agent help you interact with the physical world and contextualize it for you? That is one of the things that I wanted to show, and yes, it can. So in this case, I'll show you a little demo of Project Astra, where one of my colleagues is walking around the London office of Google, and as she walks around, she talks to Astra, asks some questions about the physical environment, and look at the way this AI agent, which lives on the phone, responds to her questions.
The speaker called.
That is the tweeter. It produces high-frequency sounds.
Give me a creative alliteration about these.
Creative crayons color cheerfully. They certainly craft colorful creations.
What does that part of the code do?
This code defines encryption and decryption functions. It seems to use AES-CBC encryption to encode and decode data based on a key and an initialization vector, IV.
That's right. What neighborhood do you think I'm in?
This appears to be the King's Cross area of London. It is known for its railway station and transportation connections.
Do you remember where you saw my glasses?
Yes, I do. Your glasses were on the desk near a red apple.
So as you can see here, this tool is so versatile, it could look out of the window and say you're looking at King's Cross. You could make it look at a piece of code on the terminal and it recognizes what it's doing. But when I show this demo, you know what most people are impressed by? Can you help me find my glasses? Because I can't see my glasses without my glasses. It's incredible how versatile these AI agents are getting, and you can imagine the future as we have these kind of tools in music or education or in health. So moving on past this, so how are businesses adopting AI? I showed you how consumers are adopting it. When it comes to businesses, this is the question I get asked by most CEOs, CMOs. Tell me what is my AI strategy? And I always say, I don't want to answer the question. That is the wrong way of approaching it. Instead, I want to know, what is your strategy to begin with? And then let us see if AI can help you with. Otherwise, what happens is you're wandering around with a hammer in your hand, looking for a nail to bang down. But the question I want to ask first is, how do you want to decorate your room? Maybe you don't even need a painting on the wall. You need a potted plant first, and let's focus on that. I'll give you an example of this kind of thinking. I was recently talking to the CEO of a big phone service provider, and he said, my problem is not attracting customers. My marketing is very good. It works. My problem is in keeping them. They churn a lot. Churn is a big problem in my business. And the customers who churn do not simply leave all of a sudden. So for example, Yvonne in the audience there, if she does not like the phone service, she starts dropping hints. You can see it in the call service log. You can see it in the way she browses the site. You can see it in the way she talks to the customer service agent in the store. And if an AI tool can help stitch together those touch points and say, Yvonne is going to churn out in the next 90 days, and here are the other 10,000 people, I can do something to stop them. And that will give me a competitive advantage in the business. And that is the way of looking at AI strategically from a business perspective. So keep that framework in mind instead of just rushing towards implementing the first amazing piece of AI technology that you see, which may not be the most strategic thing for you to do. Now I'm going to take a little step backwards and demystify AI in 2 slides. And the reason I want to do that, and particularly when I talk to business leaders, is to make sure they're approaching it with a really good baseline understanding of AI, and everyone in the room has a common understanding. So I hope I'm not offending any of your, there's probably PhDs in AI sitting here, but I still want everyone to get a baseline understanding. So with your permission, may I do so in 2 slides? Yeah, I see some heads nodding. Before I talk about AI, I want to talk about something called NI, or natural intelligence. We human beings have superior natural intelligence. That's why we are the uber species on the planet. We have an extremely sophisticated brain. And what we've used this brain throughout history is developing tools. We're the one species that is extremely competent at developing tools to solve problems that improve the quality of life. For example, this is a tool. It's a pen, a very simple device. And yet, look at the amount of natural intelligence that is encoded in this pen. There is metal, there is branding, there is pricing, there is ink. And most importantly, if I write something with it, for every other species, they won't even notice it. But for us, it means something. It means language, a very complex construct that humans have developed over the years independently. There are more than 6,000 languages alive in the world. And how did we do this? That pick a concept like love and in every language it exists. But more importantly, based on what I scribble, you either read my life story or you read my business plan. This is a remarkable natural intelligence, but it's a limited resource. So if I walk up to one of you and say, in your company, your leadership team is how many people? You may say 5, 10, 20. So I have the cognitive capability of 10 or 20 people. What if in those 10 or 20 people, we had the cognitive capability of, let's say, 100 people? How quickly would you grow your organizations? This has been the quest of artificial intelligence researchers for 60 years. So at a very simple level, think of artificial intelligence as any computer system that mimics natural intelligence, but not just mimics and amplifies natural intelligence. That amplification of our cognitive capability is what is going on here. And the way to imagine is what we did this with basic mobility. As humans, we got upright and took that first step. Then we learned to run. And then we hit our limits. There's only so far, so fast we could go, till somebody invented a tool called the bicycle. The bicycle allowed us to go further and faster than we have ever gone before, using the same legs you use for running. That same concept extended to cognitive capabilities is really what's going on here. And I want to emphasize on that because there's a lot of fear about will it replace me, etc. What is it going to do with my life, my job? And the point I want to make is no, it is going to actually amplify your cognitive capability. Here's an example. Take language translation. I am carrying on this device an AI-powered translator tool. It can translate into 244 languages, including long-tail languages I did not even know about before, like Twi and Serehi and Meitonen. Now I can communicate with 99% of the world's population. I am still the communicator, but it's amplified my capability. So if AI simulates or mirrors our brain, it mirrors both sides of a brain. So if you're a right brain thinker, you're more creative. and all creative AI systems is what is commonly referred to as generative AI. And left brain capabilities are mirrored in analytical AI systems. And between these two, if you're an organizational leader, you have 4 capabilities. You can synthesize vast amounts of data. Like if you're a retailer, you know every store sale, every item, every customer, and AI systems can synthesize. It can make predictions. It can create content, or it can do natural language conversations. And the reason I want you to have this picture in mind is there are 2 things that are going on that I think is slightly confusing for the marketplace. First, a lot of people's interaction with AI is just with the bottom right corner, where I say conversations. They might have interacted with a conversational AI tool. But AI is more than just conversational tool. So think of it as vast array of capabilities. The second, you see a lot of reference to generative AI, which is fantastic. It is new, it is shiny, it can do amazing things like pictures and words and music. But that is not the only capability. That is one of the many tools that are there in the toolbox. So let me give you a perspective on both sides. I used to work at McKinsey, and they put out a report recently. Actually, my manager at McKinsey, Roger Roberts, was co-author. I met him 2 days ago. And they have assessed that generative AI collectively will add about $3 trillion to the global economy, to GDP, about, they said 2.9 to 4.4, which is great, which means more jobs, bigger expansion. And that's a big number. To put it in context, it's roughly the size of the UK economy. So generative AI will add about 1 UK economy to the global economy, which is great news. Except, I want to remind you, the analytical AI, the more boring workhorse side, which few people are talking about, is expected to add $11 trillion, almost 4 times that effort. So if you're a business leader thinking of how do I use AI, I want you to have in mind that AI can help both sides, the creative side, the analytical side, and then given that you deal with a lot of data, there might be more on the analytical side than the generative AI side. I mean, don't ignore one or the other, but have a balanced perspective of all of the capabilities of AI. The way to think about AI holistically, if you're a CEO, if you're a business leader, is that AI has the capabilities of helping consumers, which is us as individuals, the people who buy your products, whether it's apparel or coffee or insurance. It can help groups of consumers, society at large, to address problems around health or urbanization, housing, et cetera. And it can help individual companies. All of these groups, a person, a community, and a company, achieve the highest potential. So what does that mean? And I want to peel the next layer. So the way to think about it is for consumers, you and I, going about our lives, all consumer surfaces will soon get changed very dramatically because of AI. How you search, how you consume entertainment, how you interact with your watch, your phone, all of this is going to change. What this means is the way you may buy airline tickets or insurance or cars is going to change dramatically, and companies have to make that adjustment. They made that adjustment when the browser came out. It changed the behavior around travel. Think of the time how you started behaving differently when it came to vacation planning. The phone did it again, right? The way we check in for flights, use this as a boarding pass, and then as an entertainment device on the flight, all that changed when this was in our hands. Similarly, AI is going to change all consumer surfaces that we use to go about our lives. That's the first important thing to understand, which means businesses have to adapt to it. Second, we are going to solve big problems in society using AI, and that's again has implications on any company. So self-driving car is an example. It is going to change our driving habits. Or there's going to be important breakthroughs in health that is AI powered, like what the protein folding example I mentioned at the beginning that won the Nobel Prize. So that has implications for pharmaceutical companies, hospital systems. The third pillar you should look at is if you pick a typical company, let's say a company that makes apparel, they can use AI to drive their growth, to find their best customers and engage with them in a way that they could not have engaged with before. And besides reaching customers, you have many other operations inside a company, product development, logistics, production, finance, et cetera. All of those areas will also be done differently and better because of AI. So this is the holistic way of looking at how AI will impact business organization. So I want to close this off by saying, if you are a business decision maker, the important thing to ask for is this: what is the one big competitive thing that I'm thinking about in my strategy for the next 1 to 3 years? How can I use AI to enable it? So start with the most important aspect of your strategy, what will give you competitive differentiation in the marketplace, and then say, how will I use AI to make a difference? In closing, I want to leave you with one thought. For all of you, if you're sitting here, and I'm looking around the room, see you're somewhere between early, mid, or in the peak state of your career, what a privilege it is. What a privilege it is that we're witnessing one of the most profound inventions humans have created, the most profound invention, and we get to be part of that wave. In some way, shape, or form, you're either creating it, you're going to be using it, or you're going to understand and ask for its implications, but we are collectively shaping the future of AI, both in the business world and in our personal lives. This is an incredible opportunity that we are here in 2024 trying to understand and use AI. It might also make you a little uncomfortable because a lot of unanswered questions. So I want to leave you with one thought that Google founder Larry Page always used to taught us. He said, anytime there is a technology disruption or a shift, it can make you uncomfortable, but that's okay, embrace it. He would say, his invitation to us always was, be uncomfortably excited. And that is my invitation to you as you spend today thinking about AI, discussing AI amongst yourself with the panels, et cetera. Be uncomfortably excited. Welcome to the age of AI. Thank you. Thank you.